afford to get a good job or own a house.
8 million Venezuelans voting for this assembly, saying it's actually less free.
It is. We're going to start rioting in the streets.
Was reported to have asked Putin for military support that would help him stay in power.
We will make America again. And we will make America great.
And they ignore him. And 8 more years goes by till Bernie himself finally admits to his sons, hey, I've been running a Ponzi scheme.
Does its dominance mean it can use the alliance for its own ends?
Since 1981, bond yields, also known as coupon rates, have just gone down and down and down.
The Federal Reserve note will be your biggest financial liability. RTD Live Talk, 10 p.m. Wednesday night, the 9th of May. I figure it's time to go live and to check in with the RTD community and see what's happening out in this world. So other than that, I'll give it a second as always before I chime in. The clock is going, and so as always, the new format is going to be 30 minutes, short, concise, straight to the point, and find out what's happening in your world, and as well as open up the mic to have you guys call in and share what's happening and any news that's worth talking about. And also get your comments on my interview that I posted yesterday with Lynette Zang from ITM Trading. It was a great conversation. I learned a lot and was very excited to have her on, and definitely she said she'll be back for more, preferably an RTD Live Talk down the line. So stay tuned for that. And then other than that, we got what's happening down in Argentina. So you name it. So there's all type of things going on. But as always, let me check in and see who's joined us so far. So as always, if you're new to RTD, I want to encourage you to just in the chat section, let me know where you are checking in from. And so looking to just find out if we have any new viewers with us so that we can make sure to include them in on the conversation topic so they can share what's happening. So far, I got Tom Manley TT says LZ is interesting, that's for sure. Yeah, Tom, that's a good thing, man. She was very energetic. Like she admitted that she just lives in the whole monetary financial arena, so she can talk for days. So I told her I wanted to keep it somewhat, short. So 30 minutes is the ideal time frame when you're having a guest on, so it just doesn't get too drawn out. But yet we end up going 40 minutes, and I had maybe 5 or 6 more questions to get to. So I'm like, hey, sorry to cut you short, but yet we gotta wrap this up and hopefully have you back on in the future. So it was definitely a great chat, man, and I learned a lot. So great to talk to her. So I hope you guys did enjoy that and watch it and share it, of course. So it's Tom Manley from Indiana. Welcome, Tom. Other than that, we got a few more people online. So as always, I want to know where you're calling from. So definitely, as we give a little bit more time before people log on, I want to find out who's calling from where, or who's actually in. Other than that, what other news is worth discussing? So I'm going to go over my comment section and basically everyone's thoughts on those prior videos. And so as always, trying to do some last minute tuning for it. So I got to copy and paste. Boom, copy, there we go. So any questions? We got TT from Chicago. We got Javier Martinez from Los Angeles. Welcome. How's things going out in LA? It's been a while since I've been out there. Let me go back. When I have to adjustments on the fly, it's kind of a challenge being a one-man team on these live streams. Get to some out there. Let's find out what is going on in the world. So if you guys have not seen, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted a video about an hour ago from a video from Vladimir Putin So one of the YouTube viewers, RTD viewers via Facebook, sent me a link to some comments that Vladimir Putin made in reference to the need to continue to basically remove himself from the dollar. And so it's right after his reinstatement as, the president for another couple terms. But he basically just hints at the fact how the United States of America is basically just using the dollar as a weapon. So they need to really continue to increase their foreign reserves. And he hinted at gold as well. So if you guys are interested, the Twitter link is down below, and you can go there and see the video, but it's in Russian with subtitles, of course. Says Texas is a great state. We got Jose, says hi from Las Vegas. How you doing, Jose? We got John Miller. Hello to everyone. We got AJ from DC. So Jose said, what's up with Iran? So that's a very good question. And so other than just hearing about Trump backing out of that deal that apparently was signed under Obama, I don't know the full extent of that deal, other than knowing that it was amongst all those different the EU, as well as I think some Eastern partners as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But yet it's interesting how it seems that everything that Obama put in place, Trump is more than willingly undoing, which is causing problems because the mainstream media looks at it as if he's shaking things up, but in actuality he's positioned himself as attempting to make right a lot of wrongs. So we'll see how these wrongs turn out, because from what I'm hearing based upon his tweets and whatnot is that they're going to continue to impose more sanctions on Iran if they decide to begin their nuclear arms race again. And so as if that actually matters. Checking in from New York, Sergeant Crypto. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. What's happening in NYC? So what else we have going on? So we got 24 minutes as always. So what I want to do basically is get your thoughts on Lynette Zang. Then we have the Argentina situation, which of course is definitely worth noting because it's nothing new as far as them having a currency issue down there, but it's just within the last couple weeks due to the fact they've borrowed more and they don't have enough dollars to support their own currency. So they are basically strapped for cash and allowing that peso to float. And as you can see, when it floats, it basically it inflates away. So it's 22 to 1 right now. So for those that aren't aware of what 22 to 1 means, that's for every $1 you get 22 pesos. And to just give you an idea of what that actually looked like on the ground there, I was actually in Argentina. Was it 2 years ago? I think 2 years ago. I think 2 or 3 years ago. And at that time when I was there, it was 8 to 1. And then maybe say 5 or 6 years ago I was there as well, it was 3 to 1. So at almost 8 times, 80 times inflation there within that short time. And so basically what that means is, so give you an idea what's happening in the stores, what that looks like. And so when I was there last, I went to the movies with, I have some friends down there. So I went to the movies to see a movie, of course, American movies with English subtitles. And I want to say to go to the movies, it was per ticket. It was 40 pesos. So it was 40 pesos to go to a movie, which say, 40 times 8 is basically $5, give or take. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I think it was close to like 60 pesos. 8 times 8 is 64. So let's make it even. Just say it was 64 pesos. So imagine walking into a movie theater, understanding how the whole inflation thing works, but not actually seeing it with your own eyes. So I'm looking at the ticket prices and the popcorn and all the stuff like that, and the movie theater's packed, and I'm saying $64 for one ticket. So my first thing is just to relate it to dollars. So I'm saying 64. I'm like $64. I'm like, oh, that's peso. So I'm like, oh, okay. So 8 times 8, $64, give or take, or whatever it was. But that first thought was that number was like, I don't have $64. So that was crazy, but that's just what it looks like. So basically, everything is just revalued in prices. So if you go to Walmart, they got a Walmart down there. If you go to Walmart, try to get like a $5 item, which would be $5 here. So it's 5 times 8, or actually now it's 5 times 22, which is 120, 130, whatever that is. So basically, you get the idea. So basically, just add on some more numbers. But the problem with that is that me as a foreigner, my dollars convert very well because I can afford it anyway. But yet, if you're a local, they only get paid there once a month. No matter what field you're in, apart from being a foreigner, working there for an American company or something, you get paid once a month. So imagine having a set salary of, say, $2,000 a month or 2,000 pesos a month. That can add up and that can hurt. So just something worth, just wanted to add that in regards to the whole currency situation. So inflation is crazy, very much so. Israel is dropping bombs. Yeah, I saw that, Tom. And so other than just hearing about it from alternative media source, I don't think it's been reported on the mainstream news. And actually, since I'm here, let me check that out, because it's amazing how everyone, predominantly Israel or the United States, they're really trying to ramp up and piss people off to start a war. They are in need of a war to kind of distract us from what's happening with our economy. And so they're begging for Iran to respond. They're basically saying, I hope Iran responds so that they can send a missile our way, that we can more than willingly send some missiles back. And then when that happens, all hell breaks loose, because Russia is allies with Iran. So that is going to be a hot war, really. And then, of course, because we're allies with Israel, we're going to get involved. And so here I'm looking at the, I'll actually share my screen with you so you can see what I typed in. Oops, wrong one. Where are we at? So it says here, Israeli army launches retaliatory attack in Syria after Iranians strike Golan Heights. Iran fires rockets into Golan Heights from Syria. So here's another thing worth considering. Is it true? Do you really believe, I don't really believe that Iran fired rockets into Golan Heights. I would imagine the, what they call them, the, I can't think of the name, the anti-Syrian, the anti-regime, whoever they call them, the rebels. Yep, that's what it's called, the rebels. I would imagine that the rebels, funded by the United States government, of course, with all our military and might and stuff like that, they are the ones that sent some missiles over into Golan Heights. And of course, in a false flag type of event, hoping that somebody responds. So this is all going to be subject to somebody responding. If nobody responds, we'll be fine, but we'll see. So what we got here, we said great, it's a buffet for, so 64 pesos equal $327. So for John Miller, what are you referring to? 64 pesos. So yes, so 64 pesos, yes, would be the equivalent of $3, give or take. Or actually, as of today's rate or yesterday's rate, it was 22 to 1. So it'd be 66 pesos for $3 even. Bombs may hit nuke target and radiate the area. Yeah, that's very, very, very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. So let me move on right along into the program. So as always, I want to get into some of the comments, because I want to find out what people had to say in regards to the Argentina situation. So just thumb through it briefly. It says, Philip Quinn says, $5,000 a month sounds great, but if a loaf of bread costs $50 a gallon, of milk costs $75, it's not a lot of money. In the long run, stacking precious metals is probably your best bet. That's in reference to the pension situation from earlier. And that's another question I posed in regards to, if you are watching this and you are a little bit older, probably approaching retirement or in retirement, share with us in the comment section some advice that you would give the younger generation. And it has to do with the fact that the gentleman in that article mentioned how he hated his job, but he did what he had to do in anticipation of being able to receive a secure, quote, secure pension down the line. And so 11 years later, he's finding out that it's not as secure as he thought it was going to be during his work years. So it says, President Macri has been seeking to reverse Christian Fernandez's policies on protectionism, high government spending. This is a lie. It says neither Krishna or Macri granted any protection to the local economy. Macri only opened the gates to competition from external markets and its Argentina production. Cristina pushed the high taxes to the local production, causing it to close and stop manufacturing. Yeah, that sounds like what typically happens. Special interests get a hold of presidents and political figures, and they maneuver things away from the people and end up hurting the people more so. It says, my message to anyone reading this is to never give in to the pressure to conform. Live life on your own terms and always have a plan A, B, and C. My life has been very unconventional, but I wouldn't change it for a thing. That's from Silver Star. It says, bright and truthful is right, focusing on carpentry, plumbing, that type of stuff. So to scroll down, so we got a lot of comments down here. It says, how many more baby boomers? All of them. Yeah, the baby boomers in the next couple of years, man, within the next 5 years, and of course, as Lynette Zang mentioned about that 2021 LIBOR situation. So that's basically almost 3.5 years away before some type of hiccup might occur before then, which could send those insolvent pension fund accounts spiraling out of control, especially if the stock market has a correction. It's going to be very frightening. So here's something that someone responded, and I did respond back. It says, I think you're missing the point, brother. You always talk about people securing their future, but the biggest problem in the United States, is the jobs don't pay enough to put a little back for retirement. And then my response, it's kind of long, but if you're interested, you can read the comment in the video. But it's basically that, in my opinion, of course, a job was never meant to fully provide all your means, just because the kind of monetary system we're in, where basically it's compound inflation, so your wages would never keep up with real inflation. So to depend upon a job would be, in my opinion, a flaw on your part, because no matter what type of money you're making, at the end of the day, if all fiat currencies return to zero, you're going to be stuck holding paper. So my thoughts were, focus on things that you're passionate about, things you're good at, things in ways you can add value, and also trying to set up different ways of adding value where you get paid in different from different sources. That'll be the best way, as opposed to a single employer. And then he used the word job, like, you got to go get a job. You don't have to get a job. You got to deliver value first, and then you get paid accordingly. So just my thoughts there. But let me keep it on moving. So what else we have in the question size? I know I missed some stuff. It says, I like your insurance idea, buy gold and silver. Yeah, Jose, so that's gonna be my next ploy. I'm actually working it on and partnering with some more of my precious metals affiliates or whatever, on providing some opportunities to really begin encouraging people to think about the idea of getting insurance. And so I actually typed in the other day what type of insurance are available. And so through Wikipedia, it was maybe 30 or 40 different types of insurance. You had your typical automobile, life insurance. One of the craziest types of insurance I saw was divorce insurance. So you can actually take out a policy on whether or not you're going to get a divorce. And of course, it's only offered by one company. But I'm thinking, like, the idea that somebody would, really get insurance on their marriage basically lets me know it's doomed. But anyway, so out of all that, so the idea is that you can insure every single thing in your possession. So, landlord insurance, renter's insurance, jewelry, like you can add writers to your insurance policies for jewelry and all that stuff. But no one mentions about being able to insure the actual physical currency that you're using, based upon the fact that your government and the central bank, it's in their best interest to make sure they devalue that as best they can, just through the current monetary system. So why not take out a personal policy against your own currency? And i.e. a great example would be what's happening in Argentina right now. And just to relate that, so for example, with the peso, if you actually were able to insure your entire net worth, so whatever you're sitting on, either in your savings bank accounts, in your portfolio, retirement, and so this is just my thoughts. So this is stuff I've been thinking about for quite a while now. But say, for example, if you have a $100,000 net worth in liquid cash or in financial instruments, basically outside of your real estate, whatever. And so how would you insure that? And I think about the way they do with the typical insurance policies for your home. They give you some astronomical amount in case for catastrophic damage or it's burnt down. So if you got a 100,000 house, they'll reassure you for 175,000 or 200,000, however they work it out. But they'll over insure you just to give you a sense of like, okay, I'm covered, knowing it's all a game of odds anyway. But same thing goes with your currency. If you have in the savings account, your bank account, and all that stuff, you got $100,000. How much gold would it take? How much gold or silver would it take to make itself feel comfortable, well and beyond that 100,000? And so I thought about it in a hyperinflationary type of environment. Say for every, and this is of course my opinion, I'm still working out the numbers, but for every $1,000, which is 100, so basically 100 1,000s, you would probably need maybe one tenth of gold for every $1,000. So that's basically saying $150 to cover that $1,000. In the fact that when inflation hits in, hyperinflation, whatever happens to the U.S. dollar, speaking of that now, or peso, either way, that 150,000 would absorb in an inflated nominal amount all that 850. So you got 150, the full 1,000, that 850 would be absorbed into that 150 over time as the paper inflates away to astronomical numbers. All that right there is going to just be absorbed into that gold. So that 150 for that one gold is for that 1/10 of an ounce of gold will basically probably be worth 1,000 pieces of paper, $1,500, 15,000 pesos. And so a good example would be what's happening in Venezuela as well. You know, 1 ounce of gold is like, oh man, 1 ounce of gold in Venezuela. Let me look that up real quick. That's killing me. 1 ounce of gold in Venezuela, I want to say, because of hyperinflation, it's like 2 million pieces of paper or something astronomical. But the point is that 1 ounce of gold absorbed all that inflation. It absorbed all those nominal digits to the point where if you have 1 ounce of gold, you can have a whole desk full of paper. And if you wanted the paper, you can say, here, I'll give you this 1 gold, I'll give you this 1 ounce, you give me this entire desk. If I need to go use this, if somebody wanted it, you can go do whatever you want to do with it. But that 1 gold coin in Venezuela absorbed all that liquidity, all that hyperinflationary paper into 1 coin. So that's the whole idea of insuring your currency. So I haven't actually worked out the numbers officially. I actually jotted down a couple things because not everyone has a high net worth. And so if you are not working with that much money, then of course you don't need to have 1/10 of gold. You can use silver. So the numbers are a lot better because, you know, I'll get into that later on. But those are some options. And that's kind of what I had when I was talking about insuring your national currency. So I'm working on some stuff now with that. So here we got, I've been missing things. It says, hey, what was your thoughts about the interview yesterday? She was talking about silver being well over 600 an ounce and gold over 9,000 an ounce. Cool question, Jeff. So I believe her number, 600 and 900, came from or it arrives from the M2 supply of US dollars. And so if you go to the Debt Clockorg, it gives you an idea of what every single Federal Reserve denominated issuance of currency, how many pieces of paper it would take to acquire that finite amount of silver. So they take the total amount of silver it was mined from the ground last year. Say if it was 1 million ounces, divided by whatever $60 trillion worth of paper, it would equate to $600, give or take $9,000 an ounce. So that's kind of how she arrived at that, I believe. But you can see that on the debtclock.org. Says, I wouldn't recommend any cash savings. So of course, Lynette Zang mentioned, you know, because she was saying that she's 64, she don't really see herself retiring no time soon. But she was mentioning how she only keeps enough cash to pay her immediate expenditures, but everything else is kept in metals, just because she don't own stocks, bonds, none of that stuff, because it's all going to be a part of the, you know, it's all going to be a part of the default that the United States has to go through because we have more debt than we can pay off. Tom Manley said the banks won't collapse. They will have a debt jubilee. That is the reset. Ooh, that's a good. So a debt jubilee basically means everything they owe, including your deposit, because they owe you. They owe the depositors that money because we lend it to them. So that debt jubilee will include your deposits. So that's still not going to be a fun thing to have. In time between the reset, you may say in the time between the reset, you have to make it to. Yes, gold and silver can absorb our inflation. That is the reset. Yes, very much so. So we got 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left. Phone lines are open. Anybody want to call in and ask a question? I will cut on my volume so you can call and ask a question or share your thoughts. I'm always looking to find out what's happening. Any news happening in any of you guys' area that will be worth mentioning. I would love to find out what that might be. It says, how can we protect from confiscation? What if the government wants to recover national security? Confiscation. See, like one of the biggest things would be that it's going to be hard to actually find out where, how much, and where people hold their metals. So beyond the people who are publicly letting their information be known that they possess some, a lot of people in between now and next couple of months, if we are able to do our job as far as informing people on the importance of insuring their currency, then a lot more people will have precious metals. So it'll be hard to actually collect it. And I don't think it's, as a lot of other commentaries say, there's no way they can bring people door to door and look to collect all your goods. But however, it happened in Greece. And so, of course, Greece, I don't know, maybe 30 million people. They don't have 300 million people, especially 300 million people that's heavily armed. But yet in Greece, they apparently went door to door asking you to confirm what assets you did have. And they actually went through people's houses and apartments from what I read. So a lot of die of not buying anything but a card. Warren Buffett just bought 5% of Apple. Meanwhile, Apple bought 1/3 of the world's gold supply. Yeah. Those people are well aware of what they're doing. Well aware. So we got 5 minutes left. So the phone lines are open. And so I enjoy this format. And so the goal is, of course, to be able to, get a chance to connect with you guys and find out what's going on, answer any questions via phone or chat. And so as always, this information I have here are all just resources that I put together throughout the years. And so the RTD University. And if you have not yet, I'm on Steemit, RTD, steemit.com/8@RTD. Twitter, follow me there because I post stuff throughout the day. And as well as, anything I've shared, anything I post there, you want to share is fine. Then also the book. Download the free ebook, The 5 Reasons to Hold Precious Metals. Then Dollarcation is a webinar I'm putting together as well. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up pretty soon and getting it out there. So got a lot of things I have planned. Just got to, set the time aside to get it done. RTD, can they easily track people buying gold from the internet? Diamond Heart, yes, I do believe that is possible because to my knowledge, everything that comes through the internet ultimately relays back to the NSA, and they are able to pretty much see everything that we see and everything we do. So I wouldn't put it past them being able to actually track and probably keep count of what you are ordering directly through the internet. But that's, it's who really knows, but it might be something you want to take to heart. But at the end of the day, you still need to hold something outside of paper. So that would be, I wouldn't really be concerned myself with whether or not they're counting what I'm acquiring. It says also in the interview, she was saying that during the economic reset, the price of gold per ounce jumped up 26 times overnight. So let me see, Jeff, I'm trying to think what part was that. Let me see, 26 times overnight. I think she was referring to either a past event or she might have been hinting at, I'm not sure if she's talking about Venezuela or not, but not sure exactly what that part was. Some of us bought payments before the net existed. Yeah, and if you did, that'd be great. But yet also, like I encourage people and recommend that people have their online sources as well as their face-to-face, go in, get to know the owner, shake him in his hand. That type of relationship is even better because, you can get better deals if you know the person who you're going to see in the form of, a store or a bullion store or something like that. So I can only afford silver and crypto. Had to say, get on the other side of the trade, no biggie. Let me see, not sure what that was about. Yeah, so we got about 3 minutes left. Anyone want to take a stab and calling in? I would love to hear someone's voice if you're interested. Jose, love the countdown. Appreciate it, my friend. Just trying to keep things speedy, keep things on pace so everybody can share their thoughts and call in. And I'm starting to, I like those long drawn out live streams where it's just dead air, dead space. It says in peer-to-peer sales are easy. Yeah, so that is basically what I want to check in. I think anybody else here in regards to the whole retirement concept after experiencing and seeing what's happening with this pension situation and just overall retirement scheme in general, what's some thoughts out there? Are you guys still thinking about the conventional method of retirement, or is your paradigm shifting and you actually either want to keep going as long as you can because you enjoy what you do, or you're waiting on a reset so that you can probably be a little bit more prosperous on the other side and retire at a younger age, if that is a possibility, but we'll see. But I'll be interested to see if anybody want to share some thoughts on that one. It says, what are your thoughts about everyone in debt? Being in debt, I think, is vital for about everyone being in debt. I retired at 60. Tom, That's good, my friend. Hopefully you are, well diversified in a variety of things that can, keep you through this next coming storm that's brewing. So what are my thoughts on debt? Being in debt. Well, consumption debt, as far as just your, finance lifestyle. Everyone's kind of financing something because not too many people can outright pay for their house. Some people can, some people can't. But then I don't believe anything that's not a necessity. I don't do car notes. I don't do toys. If I can't pay, my motto, if I can't pay cash, I probably don't really want it. So that's my thought on debt. So debt-wise, the only thing I owe is my house, of which, of course, I'm working on paying it off too. So that is the goal. So RTD, this is a great idea. Keep going. Respect for what you're doing, trying to alert people. I appreciate it, my friend Jay Reynolds. Also, like always, I tell people to, if you find this stuff informative, please share it so more people can find out what's going on. So we have one call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Wilmer from New Jersey. What's on your mind, my friend?
Have you guys talked about the oil prices or no?
I have not talked about the oil prices. Good question. That's a very, very good thought. Go share your thoughts on that.
I think it's crazy just because like the dollar's rise at the same time oil is. Right. Just imagine like when the dollar falls, how much the prices of oil are actually gonna rise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's very interesting because I from what I've read, of course, I don't know. I'm not efficient in all these areas, but yet I've always heard that they've been in reverse. So when the dollar rose, oil dropped, and vice versa, as you just mentioned. So it's interesting to see how many things are lining up to be a problem. So we got the bond situation, we got just the overvaluation of stocks, and then the oil situation, and what else? There's just so many things that seem like it can be a trigger to basically begin this whole shifting process. So it's gonna be interesting to see because I'm sure a lot of people can't afford much higher gas prices. So that might be the problem this summer.
You know what I think?
What's that?
I think that could be the cause of like the price. Think about it. If oil is this high right now, when the dollar is actually strong, which I think is like a discount bounce or whatever. Yeah. I can just only imagine the dollar's like at 85 or something. Oil's like 100 or some shit, and like, excuse me.
Yeah, no problem.
I can only imagine. And then all the food is like more expensive, and I think that's what it's gonna be on.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, but also keep in mind that, everyone talks about the dollar being strong, dollar being weak. That's all in comparison to the other currencies out there. Yeah. And every other currency outside of the G7 nations are all basically just domestic currencies that are the ones that are feeling the most pain right now. And so one of the emerging markets can be a trigger as well because they can't afford no longer to support their own currency. So they just begin printing and defaulting their bonds, and then another country defaults, and then you got all these countries defaulting, and that right there is gonna come back here because all those bonds that people are purchasing and owe to them, they're gonna go belly up as well. So it's amazing how everything is based upon the dollar's strength. When the dollar is going down eventually anyway, but it'll probably be the last man standing, of course.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all this manipulation and stuff, it's like honestly, it's getting annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
Just let it fall. Just let it fall already. Cause I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah, but before you let it fall, make sure you got yourself.
There's so many.
Make sure.
I got like my goals and stuff.
Make sure you got yourself a nice insurance policy.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I appreciate the call. Thank you for the call, my friend. All right. Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, despite what happens, make sure you got yourself a good insurance policy on those digits you're holding. So, but anyway, so that's the night. I appreciate the caller calling in and sharing your thoughts. I'm gonna wrap it up right there. So other than that, I enjoyed having a chance to connect with you guys tonight. And as always, leave a comment, get us the thumbs up, share this so more people can find out what's going on here. And then also, as always, like other viewers, if you come across an article that you find informative, connect with me on those social media feeds and share it with me so I can either shine some light on it or bring it up in conversation the next time we get together for a chat. So other than that, everybody have a good night. Look forward to talking to you again, and I will see you on the next episode. Good night.